UNPAVED, Sean Salisbury here. We're bringing authentic, real stuff to you. Hardcore opinion.
Sean Salisbury, a great NFL analyst, a former NFL quarterback.
To me, Tom Brady is the GOAT because he's done more with less than any player at that position we've ever had.
Welcome in UNPAVED. I'm Sean. Segs is along too. Segs, come on in. Adam G. Sager on Twitter. And I am at Sean Unfiltered. It's great to be here. Segs, always this month, we don't have off seasons in football, and the draft gets things pumping again. That heartbeat's thumping for many, and the impact. And I'll be honest, Segs, I've never been a go-in draft guru guy. I mean, the McShays and the Schrager's, all those guys, Kuipers who do it, much respect. Because the time it takes to go through, say by the time you get about 18 picks in, and we're going to go through our mock draft today, it's like, well, let me thumb through who the best available is, right? I mean, You get to a point where it's like, and then as a guy, if I'm going to go by my philosophy in our mock draft today, my mock draft is okay, unless there's like end of the world need for a team, just give me the best player who's going to, I mean, that's the way I think now. I'm more of and I don't know if I feel expertise on this, but I was looking at a clip a guy sent me about when I was covering the draft for ESPN, and we were talking Aaron Rodgers and saying sometimes you miss on plenty. Sometimes you'll pat yourself on the back for others. We're talking about Rodgers. Remember how Tedford used to have him hold the ball way up here?
Yeah.
And I'm a mechanics guy, and it's just wasted motion. And that would make you a little bit late. Windows open and close so quickly in the NFL. It's like in high school, it's the 10-yard window, right? In college, that shrinks to a handful of yards if you're throwing on time. In the NFL, you're throwing that coffee can size window. That ball's got to come out.
Right.
And Rodgers, as he was dropping, and we were going through it, I said, well, Green Bay's the perfect pick. Gets to learn behind Favre, and it was on TV. It was send me the clip, and I forgot about it, to be honest with you. I've been away from it so long. But I had made the point that when Rodgers works the mechanics and drops that ball, when the ball comes out, his accuracy was at 70+% under Tedford at Cal. He was, he had everything, attitude, wins, played at a high level in a Pac-12 school. I think he was still Pac-12. Segs. Had he gone to Pac-10 then? I think it was Pac-12 then, but playing out west. And I'm like, here is the thing that'll separate him from the rest. From where he is now to where he gets and what will separate him in the NFL. Drop the ball, drop that. Okay, yeah. Here, no. I understand the concept, but kids took it literal. All right, my thought, drop the ball, hold it where you hold it, no wasted motion, where the ball's up and out. We'll watch great mechanics guys. They don't push the ball back and go up and out, trying to eliminate all wasted motion. And I said it on TV, got to get rid of that high ball carry. When he learns to drop the ball with his accuracy with the ball here in the NFL, but that split second, the NFL is different from college. That ball is tipped or intercepted.
Yeah.
Well, he went from one extreme to the other, Segs. He went from a high ball, ridiculous, but still, which speaks to how good he is, because he held the ball so high and still completed 70% in the Pac-12. He dropped that ball, and the rest is history. Aside from that talent, mechanics changed for him, and now he's one of the best pure throwers in football we've ever seen. So when I go in, I'm more of a how they fit in the team after the draft as opposed to going in. So, Segs, once we get to about 12, dude, I'm just thumbing through. Oh man, yeah, I want that the defensive back from Oregon. I need him, or I need Cooper from Indiana, the wide receiver. Right. So I'm a best available guy once you get past glaring needs like the Raiders at first, right? And the truth of the matter is, Segs, when you say glaring needs, think about Baltimore before we get to this draft. Think about the Ravens. The Ravens wanted and traded for Max. It didn't work. They go out and sign Trey Hendrickson. I'm not so sure in this draft, Segs, depending on how you and I go, but ours doesn't matter. It's a crapshoot.
Yeah.
Anyway, 3 right, you should be high-fiving. But I have all the respect in the world for these guys who write these Bibles like Brugler and Shea and Kuiper. Mills carved an unbelievable living doing this for like 40 years, and it's been great. We all disagree and know what we want for our teams, or we agree. But Segs, when you get down like one thing, do the Ravens have a glaring need in the first round at edge rusher now? Probably not glaring, right?
Right.
But I'm sitting here thinking, if what's going on with Bain this offseason, or somebody thinks he drops to 14, I think on my list, Segs, if he drops to 14, don't the Ravens have to take him, Segs? Edge rushers, you get bookends to change it. So that's kind of how I think these guys dive in. But once you get by the first 4 or 5 picks, hell, I'm not so sure one guy goes, the rest like, or when there's trades, and I don't think you and I are mixing in trades. We can say, well, we think this will happen.
Yeah.
But I think you and I are just going to jump on this and kind of go down. And, once you get past about 16, folks, we'll take yours an aside, because I could be talked out of something right now.
Yeah.
I can't be talked out of my first 8 or 10 picks, unless you take somebody I want. But I can be talked out going late if I think there's going to be more receivers in this first round than we think.
Yeah.
I do. You and I have talked about the main 3, but Indiana's got one. Hell, Washington's got one. There's some good players here, Seg. So, as always, this draft will look nothing like what any of us think, other than a handful of picks. So, it's great to be a part of this, and I always like the dog and pony show that goes with this, and the chess match that goes with this. It's not more who you're going to pick; it's what if somebody takes your guy, then what? I think for those NFL teams, Segs, you got to be ready with that board, and that's why for me, I'm always the best available guy unless it's a glaring need.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see. We're just a week away, 7 days. Next Thursday night, it'll kick off, and we'll be here on Friday to let you know everything that happened. But we're gonna do our mock draft here. I'm gonna do the odds this time. Sean did it last time. He'll do all the even numbered teams. So let's start with the Raiders. I don't need more than 5 seconds here. It's Fernando Mendoza. They need their franchise quarterback. He is the guy in this draft that is the QB1. This pick makes all the sense of the world, even with Kirk Cousins there. It allows you to not rush him if you don't feel like he's ready come week 1. Start Kirk Cousins, and if it's for one game, it's for one game, and then let Fernando take over. But once you put Mendoza in the starting spot, leave him there, let him learn. It's a bad team, but he does have some weapons there. Fernando Mendoza is the pick for the Raiders.
Let me ask you a question, Segs. Are you secure that he's going to be a great player?
No.
So this is a first pick based more on need than the best. If I said, give me the best players in this draft, the Raiders need 8 of them, and quarterback and with Cousins, but you went across, just said, I want the best 8 players. Is he in your top 10 players in this draft?
He would probably be towards the bottom of the 10, maybe just outside. If I really
just straight football players. You think in a normal draft he wouldn't be the first pick? Some other quarterback would.
Right.
Okay. I'm just wondering now if it's an emphatic first pick or just an obvious one.
If there was a Myles Garrett or someone like that in this draft, I would take them over Fernando Mendoza myself. Do I think the Raiders would? No, I think the Raiders will take the quarterback. So that's just where we sit now.
Okay, so
New York Jets.
2. Yep, New York Jets on the clock. Segs, and watching them a bunch being here in Texas, I fell in love with that sounds a little cheesy. I did, because I tell you, I like or love, and I love David Bailey. I'm a huge, huge fan of his, Segs. I just love the way they went about that defense. They fly around, I do, and I think he translates, and I think he's a dynamic pick with a chip on his shoulder. He's a quick twitch guy, wrote notes, and he's the number one word for anybody who plays that position as an edge rusher. You got to be disruptive. Give me David Bailey with the second pick to the Jets.
So this third pick, I love Bailey. I think he's going to be a great player in the NFL. The third pick, the Cardinals, this is tough. You don't really have a quarterback that you're looking at as your future with Brissett and Minshew. These are just placeholders until next year when they draft a quarterback, unless they take Ty Simpson later in this draft, and maybe they do. I think they're a trade back candidate as well if you're Arizona, but we aren't doing trade backs here. There's rumors today that they could go after the running back Jeremiah Love out of Notre Dame. But if I'm taking, and this is me picking for them, looking at their roster as it stands now, I like personally Sonny Styles over Arvell Reese. So here I'm going to take Sonny Styles. I think he gives you everything that Arvell Reese can do. I think he can be just as good of an edge rusher if you want him to be, if you want to do that guy that kind of plays both inside linebacker, outside linebacker, but he's a better pure just linebacker as well. So I'm going Sonny Styles here, where I think most have Reese as the number 3 pick. I would take Sonny Styles over Arvell Reese myself.
All right, Segs, do you for people to trade up here, and by the way, Simpson, that's too high for him.
Yeah,
but I think he's a first rounder. If somebody wanted, who are people going to trade up? Who would be the hottest commodity once you get after number 1? Who's the glaring neon sign that if you're trading up in the next 4 or 5 picks, you're trading up to get?
Oh, I
Barr,
think
right?
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's Love, maybe it's Arvell Reese if he were to fall past 3. I'm not one. I don't see a player here that I would trade up for myself. But we know teams fall in love with certain guys and they have to go get them, and they're willing to overpay to do it. And that's why we see trades in the NFL draft all the time.
Okay, so you're taking not Tate. You're not taking. You're
Sonny
taking Sonny
Styles.
Styles. Yeah. I'm at the 4th pick. This shouldn't be easy, but it is. I'm thinking about why I'd do it, but who's going to do it. And I've kind of included both Segs, who I'd take here. And I go against my normal rule of this high running back. You got to be a dominant game changer like Barkley in this. I think of the Tennessee Titans at 4. I think they need this. And I think Jeremiah Love is that guy. I do. I think he's the best way to describe him. He is explosive. He has got a second level, another gear in space. He can take a thumping, so he's not a 2-down back. He's smart. And I'm trying to figure out, Segs, I always look, it's easy to find the positives. I'm trying to find the thing that I don't like about him, other than, running games can be successful without, ask Tennessee what it's been like without a healthy, the big fella, the Derrick Henry, right? So quarterback, I think they need a lot. And I think he is not just a great running back. I think he's a great football player and a great fit. I'm going to send Jeremiah Love to Tennessee. And I think teams know that. And at this stage, if we saw somebody trade up before the Titans, I'm not so sure it wouldn't be to get him. Yet that's still a lot to give up for a running back in the top 5. But I think he's unique. Can run in between the tackles, explosive speed. Give me Love. And I think that this is a great get, not only for Tennessee, but also for their quarterback in helping him progress as a young player.
I'm one that I hate running backs in the first round, but I get it. I understand it.
Yeah, same here. Goes against what I usually believe, Segs, unless it's a difference maker like him or McCaffrey or a Barkley guy.
Yeah. All right. The New York Giants, speaking of Saquon Barkley, I think that this is between 2 players with the way the board has fallen. Obviously Arvell Reese isn't a name that they need because they have 3 pass rushers that you really, really like there with the Giants. So this to me is between Carnell Tate and Caleb Downs. Trying to think ahead. I'm trying to think what is more important to this team right now. And to me, it's getting Jackson Dart another weapon. Malik Neighbors has coming off the injury. I like Carnell Tate out of Ohio State here as the wide receiver 1. I think he fits well with what Malik Neighbors does when he's back healthy. They complement each other really well. I like Carnell Tate here for the New York Giants.
Okay, that's because I would have Segs taken him with the next pick for the Browns. Yeah. I would have. So as I readjust mine, now you say, okay, a team that who's the best football player available here, or is it a major need? The Browns need quite a bit. Segs, I could go offensive line, and make that. And I want to make sure I pronounce Maui. It's Maui Noah, I think is how it's pronounced.
Yep.
He comes to mind this high, and I'm probably going to pick him. But Segs, I am not sure that even at this, that they don't think, at least be tempted to add another dominant athlete and pass rusher. Honest to God, I think the Browns, and it's the Browns. So it's the Browns. But I'm going to go safe pick, protect the quarterback. You've had some change there. You lost a lineman to the Texans. When the Browns were better, when they had that running game with the dual backfield dominating in the running game, they had some, from Teller, they were dominant up front. I'm going to go with Maui Noah, the offensive lineman from Miami, with that pick in Cleveland. Although I'm still tempted to say they'd like another disruptor, but give me the offensive player and a much safer pick here. You pencil them in and you go, and I think the Browns could use it, and I think that quarterback room needs it as well.
Yeah, I like that pick for the Browns. All right, Washington Commanders. This one's tough. You've got Reese, you've got Bain, you've got Downs, all sitting here. All make sense for the Commanders. If you're them, you're hoping, the Bengals want to jump a couple teams and say maybe, or the Chiefs want to jump up and get their guy, and then you can kind of just come down 2 slots and still get the guy that's left over and get an extra pick either this year or next year. But we're not doing trades here. I'm just going to kind of go best player available here. I think I'm going to do it based on what majority think. It's not what I think. It's what a majority thinks. And it's Arvell Reese right here for the Washington Commanders. He adds a little bit of versatility to your defense. You brought in guys like Owe from the Chargers, Chason from the Patriots, Amenahue from the Chiefs. You brought in Leo Chenal from the Chiefs, who fits that guy that can kind of slide down to the edge if you want to at certain times as well. You've got a good interior. Give me Arvell Reese, just a playmaker here on defense in the front 7. I like that fit for the Commanders. I really don't like this. I've picked 3 fucking Ohio State guys in a row. Can we get past these guys?
You love Ohio State players, Sage. You always have. I remember you telling me you love them, and that you care about them a little bit more than you care about your Michigan Wolverines. All right, so you got Reese. A little bit of run on some. We got a little bit of everything. Sage mixed in here. Wide receiver. We got a running back, and we got a whole bunch of defensive guys and quarterback. All right, this is not supposed to be easy, and I might be taking him a little high. And I'm waffling between 2 players here. I'm waffling between Reuben Bain with the Saints, and my gut tells me that's probably who's going to be there. But I'm also saying, okay, you got the quarterback. They need more explosiveness on offense, and they've started to build that a little bit. And I think I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be, this is too high, but I'm going to take Mekhi Lemon here. Let's say Bain drops a little bit, not a lot, but I'm going to take Mekhi Lemon here as the second best wide receiver. I think he's a playmaker. I think he's vicious. I think he's got great ball skills. And this might be about a 4-pick, too high reach, Segs, maybe, because I think the guys behind me are going to, you may be different, but I know who I'd take in your slot next. And so if I'm the Saints, and I don't know if the Chiefs would like either one or a different wide receiver, but I'm going to go with Mekhi Lemon. I think the Saints, and they could use another weapon and score. Bain's tempting, but I think Mekhi Lemon is a explosive pick. Give me him, man. I think his ball skills are off the charts, and I think he's going to be an excellent player, which makes them more explosive in a division that's winnable by 4 teams in a hurry.
Yeah, I think I had Mekhi Lemon in that first mock draft I did a couple weeks ago going to the Saints, and I think I picked him there last week as well. I love that fit of Mekhi Lemon for Tyler Shuck. I think that's a great combination moving forward, along with Olave out there as well. All right, the Chiefs, to me, you got 2 of my favorite players in this draft still sitting there. But to me, it's Steve Spagnuolo. What is he like? He likes to get after the quarterback. Give me Reuben Bain. To me, this is an easy pick for the Kansas City Chiefs with everything we know, even with the incident from a few years ago. Ruben Bain to the Chiefs, opposite George Karlaftis, in between with Chris Jones in there. That gives them real weapons to go get Bo Nix, Justin Herbert, Fernando Mendoza in that division as they try and get back to the top of the AFC.
Segs, and I'll make a point just so you guys know that we're not trading. I do not believe the Browns will be picking in the 6 hole. I think the Cowboys are going to move up to get an edge rusher, a dominant player. So just so you know, we picked in the 6 hole, but the Cowboys to me are going to move up to that slot. So we're adjusting our picks. I'm at 10 now with the Bengals. Is that right, Segs?
Yes. Yep.
Simple. Best football player on the board left, in my opinion. It's Caleb Downs, safety, Ohio State. Which will be what? 4 Ohio State guys and 10 picks, Eggs? Are we already there?
Yep.
And there's a reason that Ryan Day says if you don't want to be a first or second round pick, don't come to Ohio State. I just think he's a football playing Jesse. He's a beast. Now, Segs, listen, the one thing we know, they can score from the parking lot. They need a uptick on defense. Give me Caleb Downs because I think he's just a guy who hits anything moving and a high football IQ. Love the guy. I'll take him there. I think this is a pretty safe pick as well.
To me, at 11 with the Miami Dolphins, I think it comes down to 2 guys. I think it comes down to Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver out of Arizona State. And this is going to be GM coach organizational philosophy of what they want to attack first. Or it's Mansour Delaney, who's sitting there, the cornerback out of LSU, who is the top corner in my mind by quite a bit. I think that I don't know what I want to do here. I'm going to go with Mansour Delaney, the corner out of LSU here. I think he's the best player sitting on the board. I think wide receiver depth in this draft is a little better than corner. So that's why I'm going to take the top corner on the board at 11 with the Miami Dolphins.
Okay, so I got to adjust mine because there's been 3 players you've taken that I had going there. All right, who's on? I got the Cowboys are on the clock, right? Jeez.
Jerry, what's Jerry going to do?
Thanks,
here?
man. Appreciate it. Let's see. Cowboys at 12, being the fact they're not going to be at 12, they're already going to be at, so screw you, Segs. Screw you. So Styles has been taken. Bain's been taken. Reese has been taken.
Yep.
The Cowboys don't need a wide receiver.
Nope.
Now I got to go to my best player available. Okay, damn, Segs, you put me in a real bind here. I'm just going to pass on the pick. How's that?
Okay.
We got the Freeling kid offensive lineman. We got Fano offensive lineman. You know, Segs, I'm sitting here looking. Okay, I'm just gonna take a flyer here, Segs, with the Cow. It's not gonna matter because they're not gonna be there. Give me. You got Proctor from Bama. You know what? Give me the Fano kid from Utah for the Cowboys. It's not going to get to it, but I'm just going to go with him because I sit back and think if history repeats itself, Dallas's versatility on the offensive line, like I said, you can put an asterisk by that. That'll be different. The Browns should be sitting there, but I'm going to go with an offensive line. I don't know if that's a big splash pick for anybody, Segs. They're not going to go get a receiver like a Tyson or somebody that's available. They're sure as hell. I don't know who the best. Am I missing somebody? I'm going through my list of dominant edge rushers. A lot of them are already off the board. So now I just go to my philosophy of one of the best players available. So give me Spencer Fano from Utah, man. I think he's a beast, and the Cowboys were always their best in their history when that position, though up front. Now how you're going to move it around, the Cowboys are a more dominant team when their offensive line's great.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a pick that could happen if they stay at 12. You could look at maybe this is a spot for like a Keem Messidor, who they want to come in, another pass rusher to help out.
That's the only guy that I considered, Sigs, but I think he's going to go a couple picks later. If you ask me.
I do too. So yeah, interesting. All right, 13, the LA Rams. I think you're sitting here, you're liking where everything's fallen. None of the big top players fell, but you look at this team, you look at what they want to do. They want to score points. Give me Jordan Tyson, a guy that can replace Devontae Adams in a year or two. You get another weapon for Matt Stafford to make this group even deeper. I think Jordan Tyson fits, been down there in the Southwest at Arizona State, doesn't have to travel too far to LA. I think Jordan Tyson to the Rams makes a lot of sense. I could also see the Rams trading down here. But again, we aren't doing trades. So I'm taking Jordan Tyson. All right, how about the Baltimore Ravens? We talked about them. They get Trey Hendrickson. They lose Tyler Linderbaum. Maybe that's an angle that I think they go. There's a good kid out of Penn State. Blanking on his name, the interior offensive lineman, I think could make some sense. Where do you go if you're the Baltimore Ravens?
Yeah, Segs, I don't think that I've got my offensive tackle off the board from. And listen, how much longer is Ronnie Stanley going to play?
Right.
You got to. It's Baltimore players that have always been pretty secure. Just give me Proctor here at 14 for the Baltimore Ravens. Good player. He might be taken sooner than this, depending on who's drafting. I know that there's more interest in him. I told this was where I had, if Reuben Bain fell, I had him going here. And as I told you, once you get out of 12 or 14, man, you're crap shooting because some of these guys may be moving around, and we know some will fall and rise. But I just, to me, always in the draft, the safest picks to get you by offensive linemen that got some nasty in them. I'll put Proctor here with the Ravens at 14. I just don't know if Bain's going to be there or not, and if he isn't, Baltimore will have their choice, and there is some edge rusher ability at the top, but they're not going to get the guy they want. So give me a guy they can plug in. I think they'd probably hope, Segs, and I made a note of this, that Spencer Fano would fall to them because you could use him as a versatile swing tackle and plug him in. When they say offensive line instead of OT, it tells me he can do more than one thing. He can play inside or outside. So I'm going to go with the offensive lineman Proctor here.
Okay. 15, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think this pick makes a ton of sense. I think this is a team that's wanting to win now. Baker Mayfield was playing great football, kind of ended the year on a downward slope, and that team did as well. So they need somebody that can come in right away and help this team. To me, that's Akeem Mesidor, the defensive end out of Miami. That means both Hurricane defensive ends gone. I think he just fits exactly what they need on the defensive side of the football. I think he fits exactly the style that they play. I know he's a little bit older, and that is something that would push him down the board for me. But also, I think he's ready to compete now at a high level. And maybe he doesn't give you the 10, 12 years, but if he can give you 8 really good ones, I think you'll take that. Mesidor makes a ton of sense here for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay.
All right. This is where I wanted to push it to. We can end after this pick. I wanted to push it to the Jets. I want Ty Simpson sitting on the board. I want to know what you would do if you're the New York Jets. We talked about this, but now you're on the clock. What do you do if you're the New York Jets here, who you already took David Bailey for at pick 2? What do you do at 16?
Segs, I made a note in an asterisk that with the Jets taking defense first, this has to be an offensive player for me if they stay at 16. And 3 guys came to mind if they were a 3 position. Well, 2 guys in one position, that the wide receiver position, adding another monster weapon. And right there, if I was drafting a wide receiver, I think the kid that Omar Cooper from Indiana is a hell of a player. I just do. And I think he's dangerous and a really good player. I'm going to tell you, which would be tempting, and it is the Jets, that getting a guy like Sadiq in there because he's a playmaking football playing Jesse may be too high, Segs, but I'm not so sure that he's not going to be a ride because he's a combine freak and productive. But I think they'll pass. And Ty Simpson was the other one. If it's me and I'm the Jets and I have no future right now at quarterback as far as looking ahead for the long term, I know you can wait till next year, but wait for what? Are you waiting on Arch Manning, who would have been a first-round pick this year if he'd have left? But I don't know if Arch Manning, the guys, and it's always, well, let's wait. The Jets can't wait, because if they go and have a bad year and Geno struggles and you don't start to develop a quarterback, that coaching staff will be fired anyway.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Ty Simpson here with this pick at 16. Not reluctance, because I don't think he's a good player, but I think he's better than people think. And I think there are some, and we've heard that like him more than they do Fernando Mendoza, but that's way too high. I think the Jets will consider this a bonus for them. Offensive player, one would be too high in Sadiq, but I think that he's a freak show, and we may be wrong. Wide receiver position for more weapons, and a quarterback for the future. And the future may be now, Segs. It may be 3 games into this season. I know Geno's had some success in Seattle, didn't have it last year. I think this is a good one, an accurate passer who played at a big program. If he's sitting there, and I think he will be, I would take the quarterback here at 16. And maybe that's emotional because I like quarterbacks, or I just think the Jets are piss poor. But I think he gives you a chance for the future to be pretty special. Give me the quarterback, Ty Simpson from Alabama.
All right, I like it. I like it. We get through the first half of the first round. Like you said, everything after this is kind of a crapshoot, when you're trying to pick who fits where, but some still really good players on the board.
Both Oregon players, offensive, the safety and the tight end, Segs, are still available right now, and those are 2 gets that could be in the Pro Bowl in 2 years.
Yes, dynamic playmakers in Sadiq
doubt.
Yeneman. So I really think both those guys will go in those next few picks. If a team trades up for them or not. All right, when we come back from our quick commercial, Saudi group, they're going to leave LIV. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about a little league bat flip that has the internet up in a roar, and then a volleyball player that I think reminds me of a young Sean Salisbury.
We'll
hit that. We'll hit that.
I was happy. He fills another.
We will hit that after. You guys got to wait to see what Sean Salisbury was when he was younger. But first, tell me about Augusta Precious Metals.
Augusta Precious Metals. Guys, when you're protecting what you've already earned, IRA, 401k, it's not taxed when it comes to gold and silver and precious metals. Let's discuss moving forward how you're going to protect what you've already earned. Protect what matters most with gold and silver. Augusta Precious Metals is your premier gold IRA company. Diversify, protect, preserve, hedge against inflation. That's what this does. Precious metals, they are tangible assets. Protect retirement savings. That retirement you've already earned, is cash doing that? Physical gold and silver, education first approach, no sales tactics at Augusta Precious Metals. That's why I was drawn to them. Drawn to them because they're not pressuring you and hammering you over the head with something. They're trying to educate you so you know what's best for you, your family, your peace of mind, your security now, later, and in the distant future. How much time you have, how much money you have. Precious Metals. It's your premier gold IRA company. That is Augusta Precious Metals. Secure your future with tangible assets. Visit SeanBuysGold.com. SeanBuysGold.com. Gold and silver continue to rise. And it's one of those, there's no guarantees in life or in sports or in money, but I'll be damned if gold and precious metals isn't about as close as you're going to get. Text Sean to 35052. Again, there's no guarantees, but there is a guarantee that you'll get educated on precious metals. Again, text Sean to 35052 or go to SeanBuysGold.com. SeanBuysGold.com. Free information, no obligation, guidance, education, and confidence. SeanBuysGold.com.
All right, thanks to Augusta Precious Metals. We got just about 10 minutes or so here left in the show. We'll run through a couple topics here. Sean, we briefly talked about it at the end of the show yesterday. The Saudi group that's funding the LIV Tour seems like they're going to be pulling the money. There is enough money in the pot right now to finish out the year, the calendar year, the season, I guess, the LIV season. So they will finish it out, and then it seems like LIV Golf will disintegrate and go away. Are you surprised it lasted as long as it did, or are you surprised that it's already folding? Which way do you lean here?
No, I think probably more surprised that not that it's gonna fold at some point, And I'm not surprised it happened now, but sakes, you can almost get the feeling over the last year and a half that when you start to see defectors back, you start to know you're losing it. When Koepka, who's the two biggest, Bryson DeChambeau is an opinionated guy, but the two guys who they have this feeling, and I mean this, I like Patrick Reed and Brooks Koepka, this feeling of you don't get to tell me shit to do, right? And then they went.
Yeah.
And on their way back, those two guys are the first to come on back. I think it served its purpose. It created banter. It created controversy. It got people paid. Gave broadcasters some new opportunities. I almost feel sorry for them. They don't get the $100 million deals or the 200 or 500. They're losing their gig, and then who's going to welcome them back? Maybe some will. I don't know. It's a small group of broadcasters, but I always think about and all the people who got employed behind the scenes marketing that now are going to be without a job. It does not surprise me one bit. It doesn't surprise me that they tried to create a league. You could start to see it when Greg Norman, the CEO who was he went away and they replaced him. The chatter of guys wanting to come back and listen, they lost their competitive edge at LIV. It doesn't mean it wasn't successful. Hell, my guy Pat Perez was over there. I love Pat. You go over there. Who of us wouldn't ask for $400 million or $80 million? Let's go with the guys who aren't John Rahm or Bryson DeChambeau.
Right.
And you're going to finish 120th on the PGA Tour money list. Shit, who isn't trying to provide for their families? We'd all listen, and I don't blame them. Guys like Woods or McIlroy or the guys who didn't go, Scotty Scheffler, it wasn't a big deal because they knew they're going to be in the top 5 every year anyway.
Yeah.
So I get why they did it. I don't mind competition. Save me it's blood money and the rest of it. Yet you'll still take an appearance fee to go play in Saudi Arabia. So save that bullshit. I'm not listening. But listen, it comes down to billionaires. They'll spend money until they start to lose money. And that's why they're billionaires. They don't like to lose a lot of it. So you start to lose money and there's plenty. And no, they're not going broke. They've got plenty of money. They just don't see what's the end game for them. The merger didn't happen. The constant fight over back and forth. The PGA Tour is the tour. Hell, the DP World Tour pulling more weight. Guys play over there with big purses. I get why they did LIV. I get why players left, and I don't begrudge somebody from earning a living. But I get why they're coming back. Yeah. To me, just on the golf course, I think the competitive edge was lost. Not that it's not good golf. Hell, Terrell, they're good players. I'm talking about when you come over here, that anytime you're in something, you get too casual, you're playing 3 rounds in shorts. They added a 4th round this year. It becomes, I got to gear back up. And then it hits you in the face like, oh, damn. But you saw DeChambeau come and finish high at the Masters. But DeChambeau doesn't have a limit. DeChambeau has an attitude of he wants to beat it. He's tinkering all the time. Yeah. John Rahm's a grinder. Tyrrell Hatton's a grinder. Look what it's done to Cam Smith, dude. And I play with him and LIV. That's the best putter in the world. I mean, he just is. He and Sam Burns. Cam hasn't been anywhere near the top, but I think one major since he won a British Open, the Open. We haven't seen Cam, and trust me, I played his group. One of the great guys. I don't know how it's going to get when they're coming back, but it doesn't mean I have to hate the guys that went over there. I get it. So it doesn't surprise me, Segs. This league had no eyes on it, hard to find. While we all like that golf at our own courses, we don't like sitting in our living room and watching the competitiveness. Is it because look, Joaquin Neiman, Segs, he's a monster player. Yeah. There's some really good players we don't even talk about over there. They got to get back into that. Segs, you've been in it. I've been in it. When you fall out of competitive mode and then you got to jump back in, it's like, damn. And guess what? We got these young kids that are coming around hitting at 340, hot geeter, and you stay gone too long, they're going to bypass your ass. So that's damn right. So for me, Segs, I like the try. I like the effort. It's like any business. Billionaires don't want to lose money a long period of time. I'm always looking, what's the end game? Nobody's going to buy it from you. Your money keeps depleting. You keep owing these guys salary. In the last couple of weeks or months, people have, I think a couple of weeks, some of the vendors and stuff haven't been getting paid. That's the first sign you're on your way out. So these whispers got loud. Now they're roars. I can't wait to get the guys back, but I'll be honest with you. They got to go through. You saw the picture of Koepka in Hilton Head today? Picture him with a coffee cup, sitting back. He's the first alternate because he didn't qualify for this one. Yeah. Sitting back. This is a 5-time major winner. Sitting back and waiting to see if somebody gets sick, cancels, can't make it, their wife has a baby. And he's going through it, and he had to pay a lot of money to get back. Those guys all need to go through it and understand that once you leave something, it isn't easy as to get back.
Yeah.
But within the next year, Segs, we will have the tour the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
With all the right people competing and raising their game, so the best in the world. And now we don't have to argue over world, the point system.
Yeah.
We listen to where you fit and how many points you're getting at LIV, and not get them back and let's go. And guess what they don't have to do, Segs? Give the money back.
Right.
Give the money back. And getting Phil and those guys back in a competitive mode. Phil playing on the senior tour with it. I'm anxious to see it, but they do need to go through the punishment phase, because you don't get to take 100 and come back and get it for free. Koepka and Patrick Reed are going through it. All of them are going to have to do the same. Go and qualify on the DP World Tour like Marco Pinge did, even though he didn't play in the LIV. Those guys over there trying to get over to the PGA Tour too to qualify, make them go earn it. If they're good enough, they'll earn it. I'm curious about a guy like Dustin Johnson. Great talent, probably as good. He and Gary Woodland may be the best athletes on tour, but Segs, he's got that potential to dominate you, but he's also got that potential to miss 5 cuts if he's casual. You know what I mean? When he was going in he had it felt casual and relaxed anyway, and then he won a couple majors. Like, damn, this dude's going to go on a binge, and he did for a minute, but he got over there, and I get it. You're sitting on a boat or relaxed all the time, playing 3 rounds in a pair of shorts, and Led Zeppelin's playing. Shit, I want to do that too. I don't blame him, but now we're going to get the best players back here, but not quickly. It's going to be not a speed bump. They're going to have to climb a little bit of a hill to get back, and they should. It's part of it. Yeah,
completely agree. All right, this bat flip flying around the internet right now is of a youngster. I believe it's 12U, maybe 13U. Is something that has the internet in a roar. This is the new style of baseball where we bat flip everything. We bat flip walks. We bat flip all these things. And you'll see this kid here has a GoPro on his helmet, slams his bat down. That bat cost
about $500 too.
Yes.
$400.
Yep. $500. Almost comes up, hits him in the face. He knocks it out of his way, and then you see he's doing all this shit.
The coach didn't one of the coaches hold the backboard?
Yep, and then we got a coach holding a backboard here so he can dunk. And it's just, this is slowly what youth sports is becoming. They're trying to mimic their favorite players. The Juan Soto shit where, he stares down the pitcher when he takes a ball. We see little kids. I see it constantly. Kids do this. I'm at tournaments all the time watching stuff now with my boys being 10U and playing. And we tell our boys, I tell my boys, there is no celebrating. You hit a big walk-off home run or something, or a big walk-off hit, you could celebrate with your team, jumping up and down, that kind of stuff. Fine. I have no problem with that. You're not tossing your bat. You're not, flipping your bat. You're not staring at the pitcher. You're not getting to second base on a double and doing one of these dumb celebrations everybody does. I don't like it personally. I think it takes away from the big moments. And this kid, even if it is a big moment, this is over the top. But this is what they see, and this is what you can expect kids to do.
Yeah, but here's why I disagree with what they see, Segs, and I know you do. Well, if your kid did this after you told him not to, when he came home, would you have talking with him?
Oh, shit, yeah. He may not got a ride home from me. He may have been walking.
Right, look at the adults.
Yeah,
Segs, I remember, and I'm going to share a quick story with you. And I know we got a few minutes, and we try not to keep him, but this is talking about this matters. One is I'm not buying when they see Soto. You're right, they do. But you are 100% right. But this is an adult thing. Coach, look who's holding for him. They have planned this. A GoPro in the helmet. They prepare for this because they want viral YouTube moments. I don't know this kid's name, but my bet is you'll never see him at a D1 baseball program dominating. I may be wrong, and I actually hope I'm wrong. I hope he learns his lesson and does. Oh, okay, boomer. This is an old person's thought. Here's what happens. Just because he's a pro. When Juan grabs his nuts after he misses and looks at the pitcher, well, he's an MVP that's worth $750 million. I understand he's your hero. If he's your hero, choose a new hero. If he's your idol as a player, mimic all the good things he does. And when you get to the pros and you're making that, you go ahead and do it. Here's what the problem is. Parents are encouraging it. Yeah. If this was me, Segs, I'm thinking about my 12-year-old self or my dad. That kid comes up next time, he's catching everything I got in the rib cage.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
might throw a fastball at his dad in the stands too and try to hit him right in his damn rib cage too. Or his mom. I don't know who's doing it, but they're allowing it. And what happens is just because it's like anything. Oh, I say it as an adult. Well, I saw that guy rob a bank. I should be a bank. No. Parents at home nip that in the bud. He's young enough. No, we don't do that. Hit the home run, celebrate and jump and pump your fist and celebrate with your teammates. But the bat slam, the GoPro, it automatically tells you they're doing this for their YouTube viral, get paid so they can be YouTube guys. Good. I don't know a whole lot of YouTube superstars, but that in this sport, I'm talking about in baseball, Segs, I hate this. It's not, I raised kids. I played it. It's not anything to do with I don't want them to have fun. To me, there's a difference between being fun and being a dumbass, horse's ass, embarrassing everything about the game. Well, Sean, that's old school thinking. No, I understand the culture in Venezuela or the culture in Puerto Rico or the culture in Mexico. They're playing in their own leagues, but they still come in, they celebrate and they do it. But guess what? They're pros. They get paid to do this. And it doesn't mean because somebody does something wrong, well, my hero did it, so I'm supposed to do it. Kids see this on TV. Sports Center shows highlights. Well, guess what happens? Come to your house or my house, Sports Center may show this all the time, and or your Soto doing it or the celebration, but we're not going to do it here. Celebrate with your teammates. Be happy. Walk off home run, you should. Celebrate. If you want to stare at it for a second, I get it. But the slamming, all that GoPro, premeditated stuff bothers me, and this was a premeditated celebration. Do I like enthusiastic? But I do. Of course I do. These are kids having a blast. This goes beyond. There's a difference between having fun and taking it to the extreme where you old people think this is good. This isn't good. It's not good for baseball. I don't care if your best friend or your hero's doing it. I don't care if you see it on TV. That means when you come home, the parents say, yeah, you saw your hero do it on TV? Great. We'll do all the other stuff he does. Hit the ball on time, get out in front of it, hit the ball the other way, hit a walk-off home run. But when you celebrate, in this house, we're going to celebrate a little different. And the adults are the biggest problem. Guys holding backboards, dunking. Now, I don't even know why we let this happen. And we say, well, the adults are doing it. You're not a fucking adult.
Right.
You're a kid. Okay? So whether it's the kid, and I'm not giving the kid no blame at all. The kid knows what he's doing and he did it.
Yeah.
He learned it from somewhere, and the adults are the biggest problem because they allow it. I hope the kid turns into a good player, but I got news for you. The celebration's bigger than the home run. I don't even know where the ball went. The celebration's bigger. This was his premeditated get. And you know what? If the pros are doing it, guess what, then, Segs? Then it's okay the next time 21 comes up to hit him with the rib cage and break his rib. And you know what the dad would say? Most dad, well, he threw at my kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sure did. And if he comes up to the plate again and hits a base hit and celebrates like that or hits a home run, he's getting hit again. If he celebrates normal, then he's better than me and we'll get it. We'll go. So what happens if every pitcher that threw a strike, walked off or struck a guy, walked towards home plate, pointed, did all this, championship belt, did
slammed his glove down.
Right. What a classless piece of crap. I'm not saying the kids, but I'm talking about the situation. This is just absurd and embarrassing. I love kids being happy and joyful. This isn't joyful. This is in your face, embarrassing the other people on purpose. I was 12. I was not 10 years old pitching in Little League. Umpire wasn't giving me anything. 10, playing in Arizona Little League. Deer Valley Little League. My coach, Ron Nichols, who hated this kind of stuff. I wasn't getting strike zone. Eventually, he pulled me. On the way out, I took my glove off. I slammed it against the dugout. My old man saw it. First of all, I didn't get Ron Nichols took me out of the game. All-star or not, he didn't care. Took me out of the game. We were walking the parking lot after my mom and dad. My dad, 6'5", 82nd Airborne. My dad never hit me. I got spanked as a kid. I grew up in that era. But my dad did this, Segs. He took his finger and stuck it right here in my chest about a dozen times, walking to the car. He said, don't you ever embarrass your team, this family, or yourself again. I don't care about the umpire. You get back up and you compete. And you shut your damn mouth. After my chest come in and out my back and was caved in for about the next 2 weeks, never again. Now, I still had bouts with stupidity of not the over exuberance. Mine was in a negative way because I wasn't doing well.
Right.
This is in an over celebrate. There's got to be somewhere in the middle. Love celebrations. This here is not the culture we should be building in Major League, Little League, any baseball. More respect involved, and this is just utter disrespect. And I quite frankly think that the team and the coaches and the parents that allow it should be ashamed of themselves. Because when your kid gets an ear hole,
yeah,
and you're mad, and then you're going to wonder why. Oh well, rob Peter, pay Paul. I hate this celebration. Yeah. I love the home run. Even if he just stopped on the quick look and laid the bat down, stuck his hand up and pumped up, ran around the bases, celebrate with his teammates, no issue.
All the extra shit.
I still hate to score a touchdown or intercept the ball at your 40 and run 60 yards to the other end zone. I think that's overdone by a bunch of grown men who overdo it. Celebration's one thing. Over exuberance to the point of embarrassing your opponent and making yourself look like an idiot. Yeah, this isn't needed even in this league. And what are these kids, 12?
Right.
10, 12? This kid was pretty 12, good 13. Size, 12 years old. Yeah. No, I wouldn't allow it if I was a coach. I wouldn't. I just wouldn't.
I mean, you just see it like here. One of the big problems we see throughout the tournaments we go to are you see this kid's wearing a shin guard. He's got an elbow protector on. He's got the sliding mitt in the back of his pants. He's got all this stuff. We were at a tournament this past weekend, a team that we've played last year that had the same problem. This kid, 9 years old, 10 years old, has all this gear on. He's got a hand protector, an elbow guard that basically covers his entire arm because he's tiny. He's got a big old leg, a shin guard on that goes all the way up to his knee. He walks. He goes down to first base. He's trying to take all this stuff off. While also putting on a sliding mitt. Well, in Little League, they don't wait. So pitcher gets up there, he throws a pitch, kid's still standing on the base, taking his stuff off. So then he gets off the base, trying to still take stuff off while putting his sliding mitt on, gets picked off. And we did it to the same kid last year. My son did. We picked him off because he was too busy putting his sliding mitt on. But it's these coaches that allow this dumb shit. We don't allow that. If you want to wear an elbow guard because it gives you a little sense of security on an inside fastball, fine. One of my sons does it, one doesn't. It just gives him that little bit of security. But that's it. He doesn't wear a shin guard, doesn't wear a hand guard, doesn't, have all these chains and everything. Just play baseball. And that's what we're losing with all this shit. Just play baseball. Get better at baseball. That's the point of Little League. It's not winning. Right. You do things the right way, you will win. Right. And Segs, you keep getting better, and you get to listen, I don't mind in the pros. There, once again, be able to say, well, the pros do it. You're not a damn pro. You're exactly right. The pros do it. You're not a pro. Not all of them. Most of them don't. But the culture they grew up in, I get it. Cespedes was a celebration. I get that. But you also understand that if you overdo it, there's pitchers in this league that'll hit you and crack a rib if you're not careful. And you understand it. So for your $100 million, you may get that. Here, they ain't making $100 million. I know NIL's starting to pay these kids more money as they get a little older. But just because somebody's doing it, that's why it falls on the parent and the coach. Say, no, I know that's your favorite player. I know you're wearing the wristband. I wore the same jersey and all the stuff Joe Namath wore. But there's a respect that goes with it. But when you do that at another level as you continue to rise, we see it a lot in college baseball. I don't mind if you throw a bat flip, fine. Even in the pros, you win and bat flip and it's a walk-off, damn, celebrate. But if you slam it, bat flip, stare at the pitcher, walk for 15 minutes, you better expect you're going to get your comeuppance, man. If you don't, then that pitcher's a pussy anyway. So in the pro level. So just because your pro or your favorite guy does it, doesn't mean you got to do it now. Learn to be a good baseball player. I'll give you this. Make it to the pros and come see me. And you come back and say, I was the guy who did that. Then we'll talk. Now, we are way overboard. Celebration, good. A fun bat flip, good for the pros. You're not a pro. Respect it or you just can't allow it. And parents, sorry to tell you, some of you helicopter parents that are encouraging this, shame on you. You're the embarrassing part of it. And you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Okay. They're not learning baseball the right way. Yes, for sure.
That's all what happened. Throw your club and break it, you get suspended and you get fined. So in the pros, okay. So Sergio Garcia is your favorite player. Well, guess what? Does your dad say, yeah, maybe we should go out and play 18 at our private course? And you do that, son, at 12. It's cool. No, your dad would have your ass sucking buttermilk if he's got any clue at all. So there you go.
All right, we'll end the show on this. Here is Sean as a youngster. This is, if Sean played volleyball as a youngster, this is him.
You're an idiot.
This would have been Sean playing volleyball.
First of all, I don't walk that way. Secondly, my shorts are not nut huggers in 2026. What's he doing? He's got mad hops.
Yeah,
You're talking about the
dude's explosive
athleticism.
as
I'm
shit.
in. Oh,
Man,
if
he
you're talking
keeps it
about
up.
mad hops, you're damn right I had those.
No, we're not
But
talking about that. We're talking
you're
about
talking about all the other stuff? Well,
Yeah.
Segs, he's just a happy player. Explosive, happy player. Wait, let me see him. Okay, I looked up. I mean, I was thinking in my mind, I looked up a couple extra, but in my mind, Segs,
He's skipping around the court.
I wrote down some words that came to mind when I thought happy. He's joyful.
Yeah.
He's
Very
cheerful. He's delightful.
Very delightful.
He's elated, content, even though content meaning you're at peace. Gleeful, that fits. Jubilant, I wrote down as ecstatic, thrilled, and overjoyed. Now, I'm missing one though. Which one? Which one am I missing, Segs? I couldn't figure out. I named all those, and I couldn't figure out the one I was missing. Not that it matters. I can't remember. I know it had 3 letters in it.
Yeah.
What word would it be? Do we need to call JB for this one? What's the word?
I've learned it from JB. I've watched enough of his clips, and we've had him on enough. It's gay.
Yep, that's the one I left out. I knew there was a 3-letter word that I couldn't figure out. That's the best. If it's gay, that's a mad hops explosive athlete for you. But the celebration is you go boys. Yeah, you go boy. How do you like that bump set kill boy? You go now.
That's what you did in high school whenever you threw a touchdown.
Oh, dude, I threw a touchdown. I said, you go boy. But I was gleeful. I was happy. What else was I?
Gay.
But it's okay though, right?
It's okay, yeah.
It's okay. No problem here.
Just-
I mean, it's no problem. But I'll tell you what, he's prancing around that room, dude.
Oh,
that Jim,
shit.
Look at that little head tilt. You go, boy. This is what he should. I don't know. I'm missing this though. The 3 snap. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe that was back in your time. They've evolved. You know.
Oh, have they? Look at his shorts and tell me their ass is evolved. Okay. John Stockton wore those on the hoop court. Then the leg cross and the ass stick out.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Joyful, cheerful, delightful, elated, content, gleeful, jubilant, ecstatic, thrilled, overjoyed, happy, and
gay.
Been a great show.
Yeah.
There you go.
Been a great show. Thanks for watching Unpaved. Get over to YouTube, like and subscribe. We get all this. We're yelling at kids for their bat flips. We're
That's my celebration post show. Okay.
Thanks to Bailey, Laura, all our viewers, commenters. Follow Sean at Sean Unfiltered, myself at Adam
Look at my
G.
short
Sager.
segs.
Yeah, well, we know you wear those nut huggers. We'll be back tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
UNPAVED, Sean Salisbury here. We're bringing authentic, real stuff to you. Hardcore opinion.
John Salisbury, a great NFL analyst, a former NFL quarterback.